you like Ventura TV Appliance on Facebook, it's nice. But when you love the Samsung big screen we deliver, it's even better. Our website is cool, and it's a good place to start. But you really should touch the merchandise before you buy. Time for that upgrade to an HD 3D web-enabled Samsung TV. Get the best selection, price, and service in town without waiting. Come in to Ventura TV Appliance and touch the merchandise today.
Hi, I'm John Malos, and welcome to this live edition of Connect with Me here on the showroom floor at Ventura TV. You're watching Connect with Me on MeTV Fresno. Happy New Year, everyone. Remember, tonight, do not drink and drive. We'll have two members of MAD in the studio today. 436 MeTV, option 11. Remember, turn down the sound on your TV set before you call in. Thank you. Welcome back to the program here on Connect with Me. You're watching us on MeTV Fresno, of course, and today is a Your Community Day because today we're going to be talking about New Year's Eve, what you should be doing, what you should not be doing to save your life and many others on the highway today. And I'm talking about drinking and driving. We're all going to go out and have, well, I'm not going to go out and have fun tonight, but many of you may go out and have a lot of fun tonight with your friends, your family. You may go out to a restaurant or a bar and have a few drinks. Remember one thing, if you are impaired, if you feel you've had too much to drink, you know what? You probably have had too much to drink, so don't drink and drive. Call a cab, call a limo, call a friend, call a family member. They'll drive you home. Now, you might recall a couple of summers ago, there was this one high-profile drunken driving case. It involved a high-profile basketball coach, a high school basketball coach right here in the city of Fresno. His name was Lauren LeBeau. Let's go to the videotape and I'll show you exactly what I am talking about. This all happened in the summer of 2012 in northeast Fresno as Donovan Maldonado and his family made their way through a crosswalk near the Sugar Pine Trail. LeBeau, who admitted he was drunk with a blood alcohol level of 0.11, drove through the crosswalk, hitting Donovan, then dragging his body some 800 feet. He hit other family members as well. LeBeau fled the scene, came back 15 minutes later. He was arrested. He pled guilty, sentenced to 12 years behind bars. Was it enough? Well, anyway, every 51 minutes, someone dies in a drunk driving accident across the country. Last year, more than 10,000 people died in drunk driving crashes, as you see here. In California, more than 800 people died in crashes involving those who drank and drove their car. And about a third of all drunk drivers are repeat offenders, believe it or not. Live in our studio right now is Victoria Flores, whose son Rick died after he was hit by a drunk driver only a half-mile away from his home. That took place in 2010. Alongside her is Barry Gleason. They are both from MAD, Mothers Against Drunk Drivers. Your phone calls are important today, 436 MeTV option 11. Remember, do turn down the sound on your television set before you call in. Hit option 11 if you've got a question, if you've got a comment. Today is supposed to be a bright, happy day because we're looking forward to the new year. Please don't do anything crazy or stupid that'll ruin your life and the lives of other people. We're back with our program in just a moment.
1 Adam 12.
This is Adam 12. It stars Martin Milner as Officer Pete Malloy, Kent McCord as Officer Jim Reed.
1 Adam 12, roger.
This black and white patrol car has an overhead valve V8 engine. It develops 325 horsepower at 4,800 RPMs. It accelerates from 0 to 60 in 7 seconds. It has a top speed of 120 miles an hour. The automobile has 2 shotgun racks, one attached to the bottom portion of the front seat, one in the vehicle trunk.
You want me to drive?
Now on MeTV Fresno, Xfinity 187.
We're back here with our program here on New Year's Eve. I hope you have a safe New Year's Eve. There's no question about it. And I hope you have a very prosperous, healthy New Year. But remember, tonight is the night when a lot of people get on the road after they've had too much to drink. That, my friends, is the wrong decision to make. Wrong thing to do. Wrong, wrong, wrong. And there's so many repeat offenders, as you may know, across this great state of ours and across the country, that on New Year's Eve or any other day, you know what, it doesn't even have to be New Year's Eve. It can be any day of the year. So, don't drink and drive. Vicki Flores is here. Barry Gleason is here. You're both here from MAD. Your son died 3, going on 4 years now. Hit by a drunk driver.
Yes.
Something that you think about on a daily basis?
Every day. There isn't a day goes by that our family doesn't think about Rick and wonder why.
Right, right. Let's put a picture up of the family photo here of you and your son is in the middle there, I believe, along with your husband. Is that your son in the middle there,
yes.
Vicki?
Yes.
It is? It is, okay. And on the far right is your husband?
Yes, that's right.
Okay, how long ago was that picture taken?
That was taken about 4 years before Rick was killed.
Okay, all right. And so another photo, this one of Rick right here, of course, May 26th, or was it May or March? March 26th that he died?
March 26th.
March 26th, he was hit by the drunk driver of 2010. And then another picture of him. There is a nice article, and of course the scene of the crash that took place in 2010 that took his life. We do have a phone call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead.
Yeah, you were right about that repeat offender thing. I know a guy was arrested 10 times for drunk driving, and he finally killed somebody, and he's in prison for life now.
Yep, bad decision.
I think if a man takes a man's life, he ought to give his life for that life he just took.
Yeah, many people agree with you, sure. What are you doing tonight on New Year's Eve? You going to drink? Okay. Thank you for the call. Appreciate it. What's your message here today, Barry?
Well, the message is the thing that we need to reach out to is the young people. More people, more young people between the ages of 18 and 24, around 3,000 of those young people will be killed by drunk drivers in 2013. These are the people that we need to reach with the message, because people that drink and drive are criminals in every sense of the word, and they're murderers. And so, and one of the tragedies is that we hear so much about guns with young people, which are tragic, but where are the politicians and the media when we have over 3,000 young people between the ages of 18 and 24 are killed in 1 year by drunk drivers?
Right. Why do you think people haven't gotten the message? At least some people still drink and drive, Vicki. What's the reason for that?
I believe they're selfish. They really are only caring about themselves. They're not thinking of the other person, people on the road. They're not even thinking of their own family.
Yeah. What would you like to see changed as far as the law is concerned?
Well, I'd like to see stricter penalties. I mean, to see the society has to come to grip with the reality of this violent crime. It's the most violent crime in America. More people are killed by drunk drivers than there are by guns. And we, as a society, I mean to say, right as we speak now, people are being killed on the road by drunk drivers. 40 people, by the time the clock strikes 12 midnight tonight, 40 people have been killed by drunk drivers and hundreds have been critically injured.
Right. When you say stricter penalties, such as, what would you like to see? Be specific.
Well, I would think, like that caller said, I mean to say, what's the difference between being killed by a gun or by a drunk driver? The penalty is 10 years, okay? If it's a repeat offender after probably 4 or 5 where he's killed somebody, they'll be charged with second-degree murder.
What about the person that killed your son that was driving drunk?
He killed himself.
So he's dead?
He's dead. He left behind a wife and a 4-year-old son.
Mm-hmm. Was he a repeat offender?
He was not.
He was not.
It was his first time. He was out partying with his friends at the Save Mart Center watching a sporting event and had way too much to drink and drove all the way across town.
The Donovan Maldonado case, of course, drew a lot of attention. And, of course, Lauren LeBeau got 12 years. Is that enough in your opinion?
No. He should have got more than that. Because he critically, not only did he take the life of that child, but he critically injured other members of the family. And the thing that we were annoyed about was the fact that the bail was only $250,000. He was free for a year. He should have been in jail from the time until the trial. 12 years was not enough, in my opinion, in that case. He should have been put in jail for 20 years, 25.
What about you, Vicki?
I actually have a different take on it.
Okay.
I'm an advocate. I was in court for every single hearing.
In the LeBeau case?
I was. And he had a half a courtroom full of family members and friends supporting him. I was there supporting the Maldonados.
Mm-hmm.
That family was torn apart as well. And I believe that the only way to change this is to change the laws. Right now, the way that the laws are, he was given a sentence based on his previous history, his life, how he lived it. And although it's...
In other words, they didn't sentence him according to the crime that he committed?
I don't think so. That's why he was out on bail. That's why he was given things that he had to do. The judge gave him, he had to go to AA. He had to wear an ankle bracelet. He had to show up to court on time and all this. He did everything that the judge ordered him to do. He was at court on time every single hearing.
What should he have gotten, in your opinion?
I can't really say. It's not for me to judge. We have a court system.
But if you were sitting on the jury, what would you have said?
I probably would have given him the max.
Which would have been?
It would have been over 20 years.
Okay.
But I will say... And
why didn't he get that? You think the judge was too lenient?
I believe that the judge went based on his history, his lifestyle, that he was a coach, that he had a family of his own, small children. I believe that the judge based it on a lot of other things, not just the fact that he killed Donovan, injured Jesse and Bella, and, left and then returned. He did do the right thing by coming back, but he should have never left.
Well, the problem with that is that he destroyed a family. He took the life of that young child.
Right, and we do have a picture of Donovan Maldonado. There he is right there, a little 7-year-old boy that in the summer of 2012 was hit by Lauren LeBeau, who was driving drunk. Take another call here. Good morning, caller. You're on the air, and there is Lauren LeBeau up there. Go ahead, caller.
Yes, I'm calling in regards to the two people that are on TV now in regards to what happened to they had a tragic accident. No, I don't think that LeBeau got enough time. And the reason why I say that is because my son, it was nothing of a drunk driver or anything of that caliber, don't get me wrong. But for what he did do, he had to stay in prison for like 13 years. And it was no magnitude to what these two people have gone through and what they've suffered. He was a grown man, and he knew better than to drink. He knew better than to drive. He knew better than to leave the scene. He was a very educated person. He was not someone who was just there that didn't know and or think about what he did, intoxicated or not. And that's my personal opinion.
What was your son convicted for?
He hit a person with a golf club.
Okay, and he got 13 years for that? And why did he do that?
The old law.
Why did he do that?
Excuse me?
Why did he hit someone with a golf club?
Because there was a fight involved, and the person that he hit, I had been knowing all my life. Basically, he went to school with my oldest brother.
Okay. All right. Well, I appreciate the phone call and the input. We're talking here with Victoria Flores, whose son died in 2010, hit by a drunk driver. He died, of course, at the hospital. Barry Gleason, they're both of MAD, Mothers Against Drunk Drivers, tonight. New Year's Eve. Don't drink and drive. Do the safe thing. Call someone. Back with our show in just a moment.
Ventura TV Appliance Center. We're the save energy, save time, save money place. The Energy Star qualified #1 rated high-efficiency Cabrio from Whirlpool Place. You heard right. Right now, save big on select Whirlpool Cabrio laundry pairs and pay no interest when paid in full within 6 months. At the hometown low price, think outside the big box place. Since 1951, Ventura TV Appliance Center. We're working hard to be your place.
I think all we're asking here today is for a little bit of common sense. Use common sense tonight. Don't get behind the wheel after you've had a few drinks, because you might be impaired and you don't even, you may not even realize that you don't have control of the car. You don't have control of your reflexes when someone darts in front of you to make that right decision. So make that call. Why is it that the laws have not been changed to make these penalties a little more severe?
Well, because I think the power that the liquor industry has. Look at some of the donations that they give to these lawmakers. It's outstanding, over 100,000, and I think that there is. Look, it's legal to drink, but I believe the penalties are not strict enough. In other countries.
But why aren't they strict enough?
Well, because the politicians are reluctant to.
Because?
Well, there's no need for them not to do it, but after you're getting a certain amount of money from the liquor industry, you take a different view of it.
What's your take on it?
I believe they're influenced by the liquor industry and other things. Many of the people that are in office right now lean towards leniency rather than punishment. And I've worked with some of the local legislators trying to change a law in Fresno because Rick was killed, and getting nowhere because they feel that the laws are strict enough.
How much time did you spend in Sacramento trying to talk to lawmakers?
I have not been to Sacramento because we have people in Sacramento at our state office that work with the Sacramento people, but I was working locally because I was told if I could get the local legislators to come on board with change that...
What legislators? Name names. Who were you talking to?
I prefer not to name names, but local legislators I went to. I believe we should have mandatory training for anyone that's serving liquor, that whether it be a bartender, a waitress.
Another call here. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Yeah, I'm speaking about your guest you got on from me for drunk drivers.
Yeah, they're from MAD. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my wife was killed about 12 years ago by a young drunk driver.
Sorry to hear
and
that.
And he only got 6 months in jail. And I agree with you. I think they should make the laws a lot stricter.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate the phone call. Thank you, sir, and I'm sorry for your loss. So, why did you not make any headway with local lawmakers? I mean, we could look it up. We know who the state lawmakers are that represent this area.
I was told that they feel the laws are strict enough. They don't see any reason that there should be mandatory training for people that serve alcohol.
That was the answer you were given by lawmakers?
In a nutshell, yes.
That's pretty incredible. All right. Another call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Yes. I was calling. I sort of disagree with the way that they're saying the stiffer penalties. I think that won't help.
Why?
I think because what it is when people don't realize that what alcohol is, it's never been really, the education is more what you need to hear about. And most people, when they get drunk and they do something, at halftime they don't realize what they're doing. And it's like the TV ads and the shows that glamorize all the alcohol.
Yeah, but let me, sir,
that people can drink.
Sir, let me interrupt and ask you a question. You said that they don't realize what they're doing after they get drunk. Don't they realize what they're doing prior to their drinking?
Yeah,
Isn't there a little bit of common sense?
They do. You do to a point, but how many times do you drink and then all of a sudden you're to the point where I've had too much? That's the alcohol.
Maybe
you realize when you put something into your system, you got to realize what it's going to do to it.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Maybe you should realize it before you do it.
right? Education. I mean, you watch the programs, all they do is, how about this? Back when I was a kid, John Wayne. How many John Wayne shows that how much did he drink whiskey, and here's a person that you're idolizing. And if you drank as much whiskey as that man did, he could never have done anything that he did. So, that's what the TV tells you when you're a child, And then when you get older, if you don't have the education and the people that tell you what the truth is, then, you don't know.
Well, let me ask you another question. Do you think that if someone knew that the penalty would be life in prison if you hit and kill someone while you're drinking and driving, do you think that would be a deterrent?
I don't think so. I think because, like I said, once you start drinking, it impairs your thoughts. So you might be there happy and you're not even thinking about the consequences. That's what they usually do.
Okay.
Because that's what alcohol does to you. It impairs your thinking.
All right. Appreciate your comments, sir. Happy New Year, and thank you for calling in. Your comments about the call?
I do believe education is important. There's education starting with the youth, where MAD educates young people. There's every 15 minutes that are put on at the high schools for juniors and seniors, which is real life. It's like a real DUI crash. It's very emotional. It's very real. There's real DUI courts in the high schools. So there is education out there, but there is a lot of advertising that promotes it as being something good and positive.
Another call. Good morning. You're on the air.
Yes. I lost my daughter in 2007 as she died in a drunk driving accident as well. But also I agree that there should be stiffer laws made regarding this. Also, there are other contributing factors that should be addressed, and I believe they should have penalties for it as well. My daughter and her friends made a wide decision. Earlier in the day, they were invited to a barbecue and sleepover so that nobody would drive drunk. And turned out later out in the evening, these two people who hosted the party were the volunteer sober designated drivers. Well, after they went to a club, they gave them a safe ride gave them a safe ride to the liquor store. The moment they got back to their house, they made up an excuse that they didn't want all these people at their house, so they made them leave drunk. And my daughter and her friends' options were taken away from them. And I feel that people who do that, volunteer as sober designated drivers, should be punished if they fail to do what they promised. So it's not only just drunk driving. I mean, I don't make light on that subject, but also there's a lot of contributing factors. And if people took this responsibility more responsibly, there maybe would be less drunk drivers on the road.
Okay. Well, I'm sorry for your loss.
That's how I feel. My daughter was my world, my only child. Mm-hmm. And for me as a mother to view the actual pictures of the accident, of what happened to her and the destruction, I take all of this seriously, and I don't make light of drunk driving at all.
Okay, thank you for your comments, and I'm very sorry for your loss. We hope you have a very happy new year and a very prosperous, healthy new year ahead, and tough topic, especially if you've lost a loved one to a drunk driver. We're back with our two guests from MAD, Mothers Against Drunk Drivers, in a moment.
Look at the disparity.
Remember me?
After practicing law, Raymond Berg fought crime.
You have the right to an attorney.
As a hard-boiled detective on wheels.
Ain't it the truth?
His name is Ironside.
Perhaps you wouldn't mind saying it again.
His name is Ironside.
All right, now you've said it.
Nothing slows him down.
I want to see this one firsthand.
Now on MeTV Fresno, Xfinity 187.
Well, what are we waiting for?
We're talking about Mothers Against Drunk Drivers, being against driving while drunk, while impaired. And don't do that tonight. Just call someone and make the right decision, make the common sense decision. And of course, Victoria Flores is here, lost her son to a drunk driving accident. Barry Gleason, of course, of MAD as well. Let's put up a picture up on the screen. This is a text full screen. Now, what is this now? It says text MAD to 9999. What is that? Explain that.
This is if you would like to donate maybe tonight to get your last deduction, you can text, and it's just $10, and it will go to MAD. It will help us support, educate, be able to continue with our program so we can help victims. And so you can text this number, and $10 will be put on your phone bill, your cellular phone bill, and you will help MAD.
Okay, have another call here. Good morning, you're on the air on Connect with Me.
Wow, sobering topic today. I think a shout out to the Joint Agency Task Force, the Sheriff's Department, Highway Patrol, and PD of Fresno needs a shout out and a hearty congratulations to their roadside sobriety checkpoints.
Okay.
Is a deterrent in itself, and I think it should be recognized that they're making an effort. Local law enforcement making an effort to show consequences for drunk driving by having these pervasive sobriety checkpoints around town, and I just thought maybe it should be mentioned in today's program.
All right. Thank you for the call. I appreciate it. Do you agree with the DUI checkpoints? Do they work?
Yes, absolutely. Because it makes people aware. Now, the CHP, the Sheriff's Department, and the Fresno Police Department do a magnificent job in apprehending these violent criminals, and I don't think people realize how dangerous a job it is. There's no guarantee when they put that uniform on that they're going to go home tonight.
All right, another call. Quickly, caller, you're on the air. We're short on time. Make a quick comment or a question.
Yeah, no, I was just calling with concerns with because I lost two friends.
Okay.
Who was passed away because of drunk drivers.
All right. I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, my concern is more like, like with the young lady that called earlier, her concern was, people need to be held accountable.
All right.
Especially those who, allow someone to leave, a party location. And that's just what I was wanting to interject, yes.
All right. I appreciate the phone call very much. Short on time. Happy New Year to you. You want to talk about someone who was killed by a drunk driver, right? Haley Chavez.
Yes. Haley Chavez was killed last year. She was riding with her twin brother, Jaden, and they were being driven by their father's girlfriend, who was impaired. She crashed. And
how old?
8. And Jaden was injured and has since recovered, but sadly Haley died from this crash. And Haley was full of life. She was always smiling. She had a great attitude towards other kids who maybe weren't as fortunate as her or had some kind of disability. She was always there to help.
You in contact with the family?
I am. Actually, the trial is still going on, so I really can't say too much.
Right, but you're supporting the family.
Absolutely.
All right. Barry, we've got like 30 seconds left. You were talking about if you kill someone in law enforcement, the penalty is very severe.
Yes, it is. If an officer is shot by a victim, by a criminal, that is a life sentence. Okay. Now, if an officer is killed by a drunk driver, they'll be lucky if they get 10 years. Okay. There's a disparity in the system, and I blame this on the legislators, because they don't realize, have a cavalier attitude about drinking and driving.
Right.
It's the most violent crime in America, and it should be treated as such.
All right. We're out of time. We got to go, sadly. The message is don't drink and drive. Victoria Flores and Barry Gleason from MAD, thank you for being here. Appreciate it very much. Happy New Year to both of you.
Thank
Hope
you.
you have a very
Thank you.
healthy and prosperous New Year. And the same to you. Remember, don't drink and drive. Do the right common sense thing. Call someone. Hope you have a very happy New Year. We'll see you back here tomorrow, but it's on tape. We'll see you back here live on Thursday and Friday. Happy New Year, everybody.
like me?
Just like me.
Like MeTV Fresno on Facebook. Get the latest news, interact with others, watch videos, become a fan of me. Exclusively brought to you by Ventura TV.